everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about fawning and crap fitting in relationships and friendships. So a little bit about myself first. Obviously I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor or anything like that. In my videos, when I talk in my videos, they are either from my own personal experiences or a friend that has gone through it and I've gone through it with them, and sometimes it's just a situation that I have seen and it has affected me, and so I've researched it and wanted to know more about it, and then I'm just passing it on to you. Today is a personal experience video. So fawning, I used to do it quite regularly. So a little bit about me. So when I was 10 years old, I lost my dad. My whole world crashed down around me. It's been 33 years and I still miss him every single day. I can still hear his voice and see his face, so I feel very grateful for that. But I do suffer from abandonment issues quite severely, to be honest. And for the longest time I would keep people at arm's length to a degree. Even in my marriage, I would keep my husband at arm's length. It's probably one of my biggest regrets, after we broke up, is that for pretty much all of our marriage I kept him at arm's length. I really regret that. But now that we are still friends, and I've obviously still go to therapy, and I cannot recommend therapy enough actually. If like me you have suffered childhood trauma or even adult trauma, which I've also suffered quite severely, if you have suffered that, I do recommend going to therapy. And really connecting with a good therapist is vital. I have a very, very good therapist who I connect with really well, and he has given me many tools to help me navigate life in general, and even relationships and friendships in general. It's taken me many years to be the person that I am today. And you're always working on that, right? Like always. So, after my dad died, my mum married a very evil man. I truly believe he was dug up from hell. And I suffered a lot of childhood trauma for many years. It was horrific. I'm not going to go into detail. I am quite open about it though. Because if it helps somebody else if I only help one person, then that person hopefully takes steps to a happier life, and because they deserve it. I was told when I was younger, actually when I first went into foster care, I was 13 years old. I was told, Jodie, don't worry if you never get married, never have children, or never hold down a job. After what you've been through, nobody expects you to achieve that. I think about that now, and it's if I wasn't the person that I am, or even was when I was 13, to be honest, my life could have turned out very differently. But that was like it triggered my stubbornness a little bit. And I went, hang on a minute, I've just been through hell, and that's not an exaggeration, for years, and you're telling me now that, even though you've escaped that, and you're heading towards a safe environment, you're telling me I don't deserve to have any of those things? Screw you. Yes, I do. I kind of went, well, you can either choose to be a victim or you can choose to be a survivor, and I've always chosen to be a survivor. Obviously, I I'd be lying if I said that it doesn't impact my life, you know, but I think in all honesty, if I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And I can honestly say that I give with my whole heart, you know, and I love with my whole heart. Sometimes I care too much, and it can be overbearing for some people, but when they know, you know, what I've gone through and my issues with abandonment and stuff like that, they they kind of, I'm going to say they accept it, but they also acknowledge it and realize that I'm not a creepo. I care deeply about that person, and I have a fear of them leaving me, you know, and you know, I have that with multiple people in my life. Still today, that's not one of the issues that I haven't been able to overcome yet, and I recognize this, and I work on it every single day. You know, one of the biggest reasons I would hold people at arm's length, you know, as I was growing up and even into adulthood, obviously, you know, through my marriage, was from fear of them leaving me. I thought if I could block my heart, put a wall up, then it wouldn't hurt if they left. But it doesn't work that way, guys. In all honesty, it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way when you, you know, have, you know, anxious attachment personality, which I am, you know, and it doesn't work when you, you know, you want to love deeply and you want to care. But I tried with all my power to hold people at arm's length until, you know, I realized that that wasn't the person I wanted to be, and I actually wanted to give wholeheartedly in my life, and honestly in my life. So that's just a little bit about me, and it's kind of relevant to today's video because, you know, fawning has just been added to the instinct or the trauma response, which is fight, flight, or freeze, and now fawning is added to that as well. So the 4 F's really. So obviously when we are either in conflict or we feel like conflict is about to come up, you know, or you are scared, you either fight, flight, freeze, or fawn if you want to avoid conflict. Yeah. So you know, like way back when, if you think like when you're kids and stuff like that, you know, you're, or even as adults, like you're sitting there and you're like, oh, that guy is really fawning over her, or that girl is really fawning over him, and it would be seen, and like you just knew what that kind of was, like he was going out of his way or she was going out of her way to like you know, be super nice to them, do anything for them, like make them feel amazing, like all of that, like you know, even if it wasn't like do an activity or you know, agree to a topic or something that, or eat a food that they just didn't like or didn't want, because they wanted to please them, and they wanted them to like them. They wanted really, really badly for them to like them. You know, and that stems from, for me personally, you know, basically when I was a child, and my mum never said she loved me, ever, when I was a kid. Cannot remember a time at all. And that was hard, you know. You're meant to say you love your children, and so I always felt like she didn't love me at all. The last time I saw my dad, he told me he loved me, and I had a feeling I wasn't going to see him again. But that's how I remember him, was he told me he loved me, and he'd always be with me. So, you know, that is important to me. And I probably say I love you to my daughter too much, but it's important to me that she knows it, you know. And it took me a long time, you know, to even tell people I love them because it was foreign to me. I didn't know, I knew what the feeling was because I felt it, you know, but I was scared to say it because I thought it was a bad thing to say, you know, because I had never been told myself that I was loved, ever, you know, and, you know, the last set of foster parents I had, you know, they told me they loved me, and it was like this overwhelming amazing feeling, you know. So from that point on, I was like, I'm gonna make sure any person in my life that I love, whether it's romantic love, deep love, in love, or just a friendship love, a deep connection love, I'm gonna tell them I love them and hope to God I don't make them feel uncomfortable. But given anybody who I tell that I love them, um, they're going to know what I've been through already, or part of what I've been through. So they're going to understand why I'm saying it, and hopefully, you know, accept it. They generally accept it, and you know, hopefully they know it comes from a good place. I'm pretty sure they do. So obviously, when I was a kid, you know, after my dad died, not only wasn't told that I was loved, but and obviously I was abused quite a lot, and there was a lot of conflict, and you walked on eggshells a lot. You know, I wasn't fed. You know, it was just a horrible time. So I would fawn. I would do anything possible to, you know, make sure that I wasn't hurt or didn't get in trouble. So basically, fawning is like, it's avoiding conflict. It's people pleasing. It's like going out of your way to, you know, accommodate and please a person, in order for them to either like you, or for you to avoid conflict with that, you know, person. And it is a trauma response. For me, it was a trauma response, and if I'm really honest with you, it was a trauma response still for me, until probably January this year. You know, I would people please a lot, and the thing about that for me though is, I'm very genuine in that. I'm very genuine in the fact that, if I'm doing something for somebody or I'm giving them a gift, that is something I actually really want to do. It's not because I want them to actually like me, or that I'm even avoiding conflict. So it's a little bit different for me in that respect, because for me, I'm doing that because I want them to feel good about themselves. But in certain friendships, definitely I would fawn quite a lot, because first of all, I wanted to help them. Second of all, I wanted them to be happy, and I definitely wanted them to like me. You know, when you have been through childhood trauma or even adult trauma, any trauma of any form, you become like almost hypersensitive and hypervigilant to people's body language, micro expressions, and all that stuff, in order to, like, you know, oh, okay, I can tell by the way that they have just walked in, you know, and the slight crease in their brow, that they are having a bad day. They are not happy. Okay, what can I do to make them happy? What can I do to change their mood? You know, first of all, so they don't take it out on me, you know, and second of all, so, you know, they don't take it out on anyone else. And third and foremost, and probably the most important one to me, was because I wanted them to change their mood and to be happy and to feel like to end their day on a good note, kind of thing. You know, so I would definitely do that. And you know, when you do fawn and you know, people please, and they call it also, you crap fitting, pretty much. Like, you are fitting yourself to other people's crap. in order to make them feel better about themselves or avoid conflict, or people please them. People with narcissism or narcissistic traits are drawn to people who are people pleasers, or people who fawn, especially in romantic relationships. They're drawn to those people because they know basically they're going to put up with their crap. They're going to put up with, they can throw anything at these people pleasers or fawners, and they're going to, that person who fawns is going to go, hey, it's okay, like what can I do to make this better, like, hey, what can we do, let's do this, let's do that, and they would actually walk on eggshells. Like, the person who's a people pleaser or fawner would actually walk on eggshells and go against their own morals, and do things that they would never normally do just to please this person, to not only try and make them happy, but to make them try and love them. So they wanted, that narcissistic person to love them, right? So that doesn't happen. People with narcissistic traits and that can mimic love, but they don't actually love you, and so eventually, like, anybody who in a narcissistic relationship does eventually hopefully realize that person is never going to love them, and they're giving their all to them and not receiving anything in return, and leave. And in all honesty, you don't leave a narcissistic relationship, you actually escape it. But so I got off track a little bit there, but basically narcissistic people are attracted to, or not even attracted to, but they target people who are empaths. They target people who are who fawn, and sometimes you unconsciously fawn, by the way, and it's not always a bad thing. It's only bad when you're not being true to yourself, and that's when it's a negative thing, because the person that you're fawning, is kind of aware that you're doing it and you're people pleasing them, and they will either do one of two things. They will take advantage of you, or you'll make them very uncomfortable and you'll probably get a negative response. So fawning it's not like a bad thing. It's just that, like, if you are doing it for somebody, or you are giving, or people pleasing, or any of that stuff, and you are doing it against your own morals, or something that you actually don't agree with, but you're doing it to try and get that person to like you, or or even if you're trying to do that for them to try and change who they are, you do, like, you fawn, and you're like, if I just show this person how amazing I am, how good this could be, how much fun we can have together, and all of this, maybe they'll change their behavior towards me, maybe they will like me, maybe they will love me, maybe they will see that changing is for the better. I'm here to tell you, you can't change somebody who doesn't want to change. I'm pretty sure you probably know that, but you can't. If somebody doesn't want to change, they're not going to change, okay? So for me, in January, I was talking to my therapist, and he said to me, Jodie, I think that you do everything for everybody else and nothing truly for yourself. And I said to him, yeah, but I like it. Like, I like helping people, and I truly do like helping people. I love giving gifts to people. Like, I like making people happy. Like, and he said, yeah, and that's really great that you're doing that, and that is fawning, or you then need to actually stop and take stock, basically. So you just take stock. So if you are fawning, whether it's a romantic relationship or, you know, a friendship, or even if, I'll tell you this little story. Um, I used to go to this hairdresser. She was very competent. I liked the way she did my hair, but she was a freaking horrible person. Like, she would be negative all the time. She would even put me down. She would say to me all the time, you know, Jody, you've got such a pretty face. Your eyes are so pretty. If you could just lose some weight. I think you would be great if you could just lose some weight. Now, I don't know if you guys sit in a hairdresser chair and you're like looking in a freaking massive mirror that is not complimentary to anybody, by the way, and you're sitting there and you have to sit there. Like, I get my hair colored and cut and all of that, so I'm sitting there for hours, right? And you're looking at yourself for hours, and this person is saying that. And I would go out of my way. Like, I think I brought her flowers once. I would go out of my way to try and be overly nice to her. I think I even gave her a tip once, like overly nice to her, because I kept thinking, if I'm really nice to her, she will like me and she'll treat me better. But in the reality, she was just a crap person, right? And it took me a little while to go, I really dislike this person. Like, I'm not going to put up with being treated poorly, you know, because she's competent at doing my hair, because I have a bad experience every single time I go. Like, it's not only, and you know, many women who get their hair done, and even men, I'm sorry, even men, who get their hair done, it's your time. We very rarely get to sit still, right? So, you know, like, you know, I really wanted to just relax and sit still, right? And so, like, it was. I look back on it now, like, that was so stupid. Why were you doing that? You know, but it's a trauma response. She was being mean to me, and I wanted her to stop, and I wanted her to like me. So I went out of my way to try and make that happen, which obviously did not work because she was a crap person, and I was crap fitting to her. I was crap fitting to abuse. And when you crap fit to abuse, you are basically saying it's okay. It's okay that you're abusing me. You know, I am just going to go with the flow, and just like, try and make you like over the top, be nice to you to try and make you see that you don't need to be abusive, and being a nice person is much better, kind of thing. But when you are doing that, when you are crap fitting to that person, and to that abuse, you are basically, you know, justifying it and saying like it's okay. And I'm also here to say that that is actually not your fault, at all. Like, when you do that, it's actually not your fault. It is, if you've gone through any trauma, or even if you're just a people pleaser in general. And generally, if you are a people pleaser, it is from something that's happened in your life that has caused you to be a people pleaser. You know, then, you know, you can't actually help that, to a degree. You can't help that at that stage. You're just like, oh, I want them to like me, and I need to do whatever I can to make them like me. But no, they're just shit. They're just shit people. So you just need to walk away from them, basically, and leave them to their own devices, because if they're not going to change if they don't want to change, yeah? So this is what you need to do, and this is what I found. And I'm going to tell you a little bit, of a story about the response I got, when I started to be, a little bit more assertive, and basically start saying no, and actually start expressing my feelings, and saying how I felt, like, this scares me, or I have abandonment issues, please accept that, and be accepting of me, and be understanding, and just a little bit more understanding of me when I go a little bit emotional or over the top. You know, when I started to say that, I'll let you know in a second, some of the responses I got from that. But when you are a people pleaser, or you are fawning, and you've noticed that you do that, like if this everything I'm saying is like making you have a little bit of a moment, I meant, and you're going, yeah, okay, I think I actually do that sometimes, like, and if when you are doing that, you're not actually agreeing with what they're doing, and you're just doing it because you want them to, be happy, or to accept you in their world or whatever. And if you are doing that, and it's not actually what you want to be doing, that is that is fawning. That is actually fawning. That's not doing something that you actually genuinely want to be doing. So you need to check in with yourself. And that's what I do with myself regularly. I check in with myself. So if somebody invites me somewhere, and before I say yes, now I'll check in and go, do I want to do this? Is this something I want to do? And I'll give you an example of that actually. So my ex-husband Mick, I'm sure he won't mind me sharing this, asked me last night if I wanted to play touch football. They were down a girl. I almost just instinctively was going to say yes. I was going to say yes because, Mick's my friend, and I didn't want the team to be down a girl. I didn't want them to forfeit. Like, this is all went through my head. But then I checked in with myself. And went, is this a position you want to be in right now? Is this emotionally something you can deal with right now? You just went to the gym this morning. Is this something you are going to want to recover from tomorrow? And my answer was no. No, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to emotionally put myself through this yet. And I was very honest with Mick. I said, hey, no, I'm going to say, and he actually kind of knew what my answer would be anyway, because he knows me really well. But, I said, no, actually, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry that you're down a girl, but like, at the moment, emotionally, I can't put myself through that. Obviously on the team is like, some of Mick's friends, and all of that. So I just didn't want to put myself through that just yet. Not that they're, bad or anything like that. It's just that, like, it's not a position I just wanted to be in that night. Yeah. So, you're checking in with yourself to make sure that this is actually something you want to do, or this is a gift that you want to give. Like, instead of going, I would do it with cakes all the time, by the way. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a cake decorator, baker, and a hair and makeup artist, and I would do it all the time, right? There would be, I'll give you an example for makeup first. There would be a movie, that a particular movie that I did. It was in Sydney, and the content was very raw for me. It involved a car accident, a pretty horrific car accident, and even though I know that the car accident was fake, it was triggering for me, because I lost my brother, his fiance, and their unborn baby in a car accident, and in a separate car accident I also lost my baby sister. And prior to that, I was in a car accident myself, where I was hit by a truck twice and flipped over a medium strip, and hit by a four-wheel drive. I was perfectly fine. I don't know how we were perfectly fine, but we were. So that was very triggering for me, but I said yes to doing the movie. I said yes to doing the movie because I liked the people producing it. I liked the makeup that was involved in doing it, but it was very challenging for me. And for weeks afterwards, I would have flashbacks, and it was a horrible thing for me to put myself through, because I didn't want to let somebody else down, or I didn't want to say no to somebody. And if I just checked in with myself, or known that I was fawning, and that I, should have checked in with myself and went, is this something you want to put yourself through? Is this going to be triggering for you? And I would have probably said, actually, I would have said no to doing that movie. You know, it wasn't about money or anything like that. It wasn't about money at all for me, actually. It was about people pleasing. It was about, you know, not letting these people down, because what if they didn't have another makeup artist to do it? You know, even though there's tons of special effects makeup artists, you know, and I would do it with cakes as well. I would have a gazillion cakes lined up in a week, and then somebody, a regular customer, would say to me, "Oh, Jodie, can you do this cake?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." No, like I couldn't fit it in, but I did. I would stay up literally all night to do this cake because I didn't want to let them down. But now I check in with myself and say, can you fit this cake in? No, no, you can't. I'm really sorry, I can't do this cake at the moment. Or when I was going through like a really horrible time earlier this year, I had a regular client message me and say, "Hey Jodie, can you do this cake?" And because I know her quite well, I was brutally honest with her. I said, "Hey, I'm going through a really crap time at the moment. I'm sorry, I just don't have the capacity emotionally or mentally to be able to do this cake for you. You know, I'm going through a separation, and I'm just being like a lot of stuff that I was going through with therapy, you know, giving me flashbacks. I simply can't. I don't want to let you down, and I simply can't do this cake for you." And I've had to do that a couple of times with a couple of things just this year. You know, I've said yes. You know, I've said yes, and then I've realized that I just simply didn't have the capacity to do that. And I was really, really honest with those people, and really vulnerable. I was vulnerable to those people and said, not really knowing what their response would be, but I just needed to be purely honest with them and vulnerable to them. And I just said, "Hey, this is what I'm going through at the moment. I simply cannot do your cake or your photo shoot at the moment, because this is just I'm sometimes staring at a wall for hours." You know, and that was very vulnerable for me. I would never normally be that vulnerable. You know, a couple of years ago I wouldn't have been that vulnerable. Well, probably 3 years ago I've, you know, been quite vulnerable for quite a while now, since working with my therapist. But like, you know, I wouldn't have been that vulnerable normally at all. I just would have, guys, I would have probably sucked it up and tried to do it. And I would have either gotten a bad result or probably had a nervous breakdown. I'm really not sure at this stage what would have happened then, you know, because I hadn't quite worked through everything at that stage. And in all honesty, you know, I'm having traumatic flashbacks from my childhood and from something that happened in my early adulthood. And so, like, I'm still working through that. It is getting better, obviously, working with my therapist and stuff like that. But and I'm being very open and vulnerable with you now, because if this resonates with you and you want to talk to me about it, I'm very open to talking to you and listening to what you're going through as well. I'm, you know, after experiencing everything that I've gone through, I do find that I am pretty good with giving advice and tools for you to use to be able to get through stuff. You know, especially after doing therapy since I was 13 years old, I'm pretty good at helping you through stuff. But yeah, so now I am quite vulnerable to people now, and quite open and honest. I check in with myself. I still have, you know, abandonment issues and like severe abandonment issues that I'm working on. And also I care probably too much about people who really, really matter in my life. And so sometimes you might get like a lot of messages from me if I haven't heard from you in a little while. And I have a couple of friends who have received that, and they're like, "Whoa, Jodie, whoa, everything is okay. I was just really busy." But because they know me and they know what I've been through to a degree, without too much, you know, detail, because I you know, they either haven't asked, or I don't really want that negativity in when we spend time together. You know, if they didn't know that, they'd be like, damn, this girl is full on, like, and they might not want me in their lives, you know. But because they do know that, they're a little bit more accepting. By a little bit more, I mean they're really accepting. And they're like, hey, Jody, it's all good. I'm not going to leave you. It's okay. Like, I know that you overcare and you just go a little bit far sometimes, but, you know, hey, let's talk about it. Are you okay? You know, this is why I didn't respond to you, or this is why, you know, because I would freak out and think like something happened to them, because, you know, I'm very hyper vigilant to people's behaviors, and when their behaviors change or their pattern of behavior changes, then I'm on it. I am on it. I know, I know that their behavior's changed, and that triggers me to think, like, one, is it me? Yep, I still do that. Is it me? What have I done wrong? And how can I fix it? That is something I'm still working on. Crap, I don't want them to leave me. Are they going to leave me? They haven't responded to me. Are they going to leave me? So that is definitely something I'm working on. You know, and sometimes I will actually take a while to respond to messages, and usually I'm really quick with responses, but sometimes I'll take a little, I usually respond by the end of the day, let me be honest with you, but I do sometimes take a little bit longer because, you know, I am checking in with myself and I'm going, no, I'm actually on a walk at the moment. I'm not going to be answering messages, you know, where I wouldn't have done that before. Well, I need to answer, and I need to answer now. So basically, I know that I went into a fair bit of detail about myself today, but you know, this particular subject is pretty relevant to me as well, and also, you know, it's funny the mixed responses that I have gotten from people who've known me for quite some time, you know, because I've started to say no, or I've started to stand up for myself a little bit when I'm in a situation that I don't want to be in. I'll be like, no, actually, I don't want to do this, or no, I'm going to like stop doing this for a while, or you know, no, I actually don't want to go this place with you. I have been called sassy. I've been told that I'm a little bit sassy now, and maybe I am, I don't know. I do not mean to be sassy. I realize that I probably haven't been assertive before, and it is a little bit of a shock to people, but it's not, I'm never aggressive or anything like that. It's more that I'm just, you know, I'm just saying, hey, this isn't right for me right now. It's not that I don't want to help you. I would love to help you, but right now, I just don't want to right now, because it's not right for me. Instead of putting myself through hell and emotional turmoil or mental turmoil in order to help them, or it could just be something that I don't freaking want to do. And I would normally just do it and, you know, just suck it up and do it because I wanted to make people happy. And now I'm just like, you know what, I just don't want to do that. So I'm not going to. So, you know, so if you are, sorry, I ramble a lot and I do apologize for that. So if you are, you know, if this does resonate with you and you've noticed that you do fawn or you do people please, just use the tools to check in. And there are many other tools out there, by the way. This is just what works for me. So I just check in with myself. I literally either mentally, you know, go through a little checklist and is this something you want to do? Do you have time to do this? You know, are you okay with this? Does this, will this trigger you? You know, all of that. And then I look at my answers and I'm like, okay, if it's no, yep, okay, I will do this. Or if it's yes, it'll trigger you, or no, I really don't want to be doing this, no, I don't have time, then I just won't do it. Yeah. So if you are a people pleaser, or you're going to a salon where somebody is mean to you, don't give them the validation of their bad behavior. Don't you know, don't reward them for their bad behavior, that's for sure. You walk away from it because you bloody deserve better. Like, you know, so you know, walk away from that. Like, go, hey, this is not okay. Like, yeah, you're an awesome hairdresser, but wow, you're a crap person. Like, and I'm crap fitting to your abuse right now, and that's not okay. So check in with yourself. Be okay with saying no. Be okay with saying no, and you can give a reason if you want to, or don't give a reason, but I would generally give a reason. And if you are like a person who's close to me in my life, and that I'm like, obviously, you might notice that, like, you know, that I've changed a little bit, you know, and I might tell you often that I love you, and that I care about you, and that I appreciate you, and I might get mushy on you multiple times. I'm sorry, that's just something you'll either have to accept or tell me that you don't want. And I will try not to do it. But if I care about you, I'm definitely going to do that. So anyway, thanks guys for watching. And if you liked this video, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And if you have a subject you want me to talk about or even research and go into depth about, please let me know. And I will see you next time. Bye.